3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Playback Podcast presented by Car, your weekly podcast featuring America's favorite dancers, hosted by America's favorite road warriors. We are your hosts, Jocelyn, Kristyn, and Madison. How are we feeling today, friends?
I'm good.
I'm tired. Let's go ahead and hop right into our favorites of the weekend. We had tons of shows going on this weekend. Obviously, we won't be able to get to every single one of them, but always make sure that you are commenting on all of our posts to make sure if there's something that you want us to really chat about, make sure you give us that song title, that studio, and we will do our best to talk about it on the podcast. But
act number 2, because that's how we can look them up.
Definitely act number. Perfect. Madison, why don't I go ahead and get us started with your favorite pick of the week?
I do, and since you sent me the video of this performance, I knew I was going to talk about this first, so I've been ready. She's actually, for our social media, she's our Instagram pick of the week. It was from our Nate, can you play back Car Stafford Act 47, Lola from Republic Edge. We posted her in the morning. First of all, this girl has all the attitude in the world on stage. She puts on her own show, fierce from the minute she walks on till off. I mean, that's literally the best word I could use to describe her. When I was cutting her dance to fit it for our Reels and for TikTok, I could not pick apart because her technique was great. The tricks were great. The sass was great. The movement in between was amazing. So I finally picked one, posted it in the morning, and when I say I was texting Jocelyn every 5 minutes, like, it's at 1K, it's at 2K, it's at 30K, it's at 50K. I was freaking out because I was getting so excited that everybody else was also agreeing with what we saw when she was on stage too. So she's my pick, Instagram pick, our social media pick of the week. She was amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Jocelyn, you were in person. How was it seeing it in person?
Yes, I was there at Car Stafford this weekend. It was a 4-day show, which is always a little bit challenging for those dancers to come back day after day after day, but they did not disappoint. Her name is Gianni, and she is insane. I was up down at that MC judges table getting that photos and videos, and she killed it. So I'm happy to see that her hard work paid off in those views because she was very deserving of that praise.
Stunning, and just one of my favorite performers, like all around performers from the weekend for sure. What about you? What was your pick?
So like I said, I was in Stafford, and I saw an amazing group routine that it caught my eye, and it was from Stacy's dance studio. It was called When I Grow Up, and I think we all know that Peter Pan song, but it was a different cover, and it was just done so cute. It was like a musical theater. They were age 9, and it was so different what you'd think to like that normal song that we've heard over and over and over. But I think that by using this different version, I don't know where they found it, but it was so cute, and all of the girls were so committed to, the big facials and it was just so well done. And I thought the costumes were so cute. They looked like they were in little sleepover jammies, and it was just so well done, and it was so creative. And even though it's technically a dance that you would probably see over and over competition seasons, the way that they did it made it such a standout and made it seem like it was an original routine. So well done to all of those dancers from Stacy's dance studio. I thought it was the cutest routine, and I remember even turning back after it finished, just being like, I loved that. That was so different. And sometimes if things kind of start to look the same, that one routine that really catches your eye, it makes it just kind of refresh your day. And especially for those judges too, I think that it kind of wakes them up a little bit and gets them back into the routine of things. So job well done to Stacy's.
Oh, I love
I'm not going to lie. When you said When I Grow Up, I immediately thought of When I Grow Up, I Want to Be Famous. And I was like, wait, and sleeper gowns? Now it all makes sense. It all makes sense now. My bad.
No, it was the Peter Pan one. I won't grow up, I won't grow up. But it was just a cute version of it. Loved it.
Okay, now
Clearly
I know
we're not singers. We're not singers. Nate, cut the singing out.
I have to start out with my favorite pick of the weekend. We got the treat of ending with elite soloists at the end of Sunday, and this dancer actually performed like 3 acts before the end of the show weekend, and I texted you guys so fast about this one because she was stunning. It was Act 334, Power of Love, from Studio 84 in St. Louis at Rainbow Dance Competition this past weekend. Her name was Ashley Jackson. From her costume to her movement quality, she used that stage, went from one end to the next, like captivated me. As the tallier sitting there, I was like, holy crap. I wanted to watch her dance for longer. I think her solo was maybe a minute 45, 2 minutes, and I wanted her to keep going because I couldn't get enough. And it was just such a treat to see her at the end of comp crush it. And I can't remember where exactly she placed, but in that moment, I was like, wow, I want to see you dance more. I almost wish that she had another solo because I wanted to see her more, but it was stunning. So if you guys get the opportunity to watch it through the podcast, please, because I was stunned. Our MC was stunned. Our director was stunned. It was just such a beautiful solo.
Another one that I have to talk about is Kylie Schwab from Republic Edge Dance.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in Stafford, Texas, and this girl, I remember seeing her last season, and she absolutely killed at Pigeon Forge Finals last year. And her solo this year that she won first overall and Miss Dance with is so different from what she won with last year. Last year, it was this really intense, like gymnastics, acro-driven routine. And this season, it was called Bound to You. And she had this tie, and it was that beautiful Christina Aguilera song. And it was so different than what she did last year, but she still had all of those insane tricks and all of those insane like power holds and those stills. But she did it in such an elegant way that it really took on that beautiful contemporary lyrical feel while still having those acro gymnastics skills in it, which I think is really hard to blend a lot of the time. But she was really able to kind of ebb and flow back and forth between that really pretty lyrical part and then going back into that really intense trick, whether it's a back handspring or whether it's, you know, those crazy headstands that she can do. You can see it in the video. She's so talented. So I think that just she's really that powerhouse when it comes to the tumbling and everything like that, but her stage presence, and she's really able to convey those beautiful moments as well, which I think is just a testament to her teachers, but also just her as a hardworking performer. So job well done, Kylie. I'm like obsessed.
I remember her now that you're really going into detail about her previous solo, because she was at Pigeon Forge, right? Yeah, I totally remember her now. That solo was so good. So the fact that this one just topped that one, whew, Nationals is going to be fun.
I think an important thing that you touched on there was she blends tricks and the dancing and quality of movement together. I know on social media, a lot of the comments when people are giving their 2 cents is, oh, it's just tricks, it's not dancing. So for a dancer to be able to, one, do those tricks that are so hard and so difficult to be able to do in the first place, but then also have that same quality of movement and blend it together, I think that says a lot about her as well. Also, she just looked super cute in her crowning video, and I wanted to be her friend, so I was jealous you got to talk to her this weekend. I have another pick from this weekend. If we can play back the Car Mobile, A State of Matter. It was actually one of our car proteges, Mia, and I believe Tony choreographed this solo. Now, she could literally come on stage and do any dance that she's ever done, and we would probably talk about it because every single one is amazing. Her training just shows whenever she's doing her performances. You can tell that all of the technique is muscle memory. She is not on stage thinking about straightening her leg, how she's going to jump, how she's going to pull up in a turn. She's really invested in that performance. So the fact that all of her training kicks in on stage and she just commits fully to that performance, I think that's how she captivates the audience so well every single time. Everything about it was perfect. Technique, performance, costume, choreography. I could watch it over and over and over. That's also on our social media as well if you want to check that dance out. But shout out to Mia, one of our car proteges, and Tony for that amazing choreography.
Fun fact about Mia, my first season working for Car and Rainbow, I worked Car Mobile, and she was just a little baby nugget at that time. I think she was like maybe in the 5 and under, 6 to 8 age division. And to see how far she's come is incredible. It's like night and day. I can't believe it. She's a talented dancer. Definitely a force to be reckoned with.
For sure. And she's from Creative Dance, which I just have to give a big, big thank you to Creative Dance out in Louisiana. They are one of our biggest Hope studios when it comes to Dancers Against Cancer. And they were actually recognized at this last weekend's competition because they are an official Platinum Hope studio. So we have our normal $1,000 requirement, but some studios just are that dedicated to DAC that this studio actually raised $11,000 for 2021, which is so above and beyond what we are asking for from these Hope studios. And Amy Barone, Tony, the entire staff at Creative really does take their DAC partnerships so seriously, and it's making such an impact. So I just had to take the time to thank all of the amazing dancers and staff from Creative Dance for every single year going so above and beyond when it comes to their fundraising. It's so appreciated. So it was really nice to be able to have them honored and at least give them that moment to get that recognition because they truly are deserving of that. So thank you to Creative Dance. Another really exciting thing that we had this week with Dancers Against Cancer was, like I said, I was in Stafford, Texas, and we actually did a surprise announcement for our next junior ambassador for our Hope Society program. So as you all know, we did announce our first junior ambassador, who is Everly from PAVE School of the Arts here in California. And we were excited to add Miss Reagan from Republic Edge to our DAC Hope Society Junior Ambassador family. So we did a huge surprise. We invited her out on stage, and it was just an amazing weekend. She was so shocked. She obviously had been sending in DMs, which is what we asked you all to do if you are interested in joining our Hope Society program. And I just thought it would be so fun to do a surprise for her. So I reached out to her mom and her studio director, and we set it all up. And she was so cute, so surprised, and she immediately was repping that orange DAC jersey.
Wow.
She was wearing it all over. She got all of her studio. I saw so many dancers after she posted that she was officially an ambassador. I saw so many people buying that DAC merch. So that's what we are so excited to have with this Hope Society program, is these dancers who are actively competing every single weekend are getting to spread the word about DAC. And obviously they don't just compete at CAR or Rainbow. They're going to a bunch of other competitions where they can, you know, spread awareness. So it's greatly appreciated. And we're so excited to have Miss Reagan joining the DAC family. And we have another ambassador that's going to be announced very soon. So make sure you guys are staying up to date with all of those announcements because it's going to be really, really fun. And we have a lot of amazing dancers to add to the DAC family.
Wow. I feel like it's going to be a really big year for DAC.
That's the goal. That's the goal. As long as we have that support, you know, and I think this Hope Society program is going to be really exciting for these dancers to really feel like they are taking on a responsibility with Dancers Against Cancer. Obviously, we have our Hope Studio program already, and that's more of a collective effort. So really finding the dancers that are wanting to take on that responsibility and that commitment to, you know, using their voice, I think is so important. So we're really excited to broaden that entire program.
Wow. We love to hear it.
We love it.
I would love to talk about another fave from the weekend in St. Louis. It was act number 198 called Miss Janet from Sloan's Dance Studio. Her name was Kenna Lyon. I kid you not, this girl took control of the stage. She was such a little nugget, but took control of the entire stage with her facials. Like, I remember Ramona was getting social media, I think to send to you, Madison, and the facials that she gave during her performance were everything I wanted and more. She took control of the judges, of the audience. Like, I was sitting there like, oh, girl. Like, she had the facials, she had the costume, she had the technique, she had the great choreography, the tricks too, flipping across the stage all the way to the back corner. It was amazing, and she is going to be a force to be reckoned with as well because she's such a little nugget. I can't imagine how great she's going to be at 18 years old.
Speaking of St. Louis, I just have to give a shout out to the amazing dancers and all of the contributions that we got from Rainbow St. Louis this past weekend. It was our highest grossing show of the weekend, which normally when we do the pink buckets, obviously any amount is appreciated, but oh my gosh, St. Louis raised over $1,200 when it came to those pink bucket collections, which that is outstanding. Like I said, these pink buckets are going around maybe 5 to 10 minutes throughout the audience. So the fact that you raised that much amount of money, big thank you to Ramona, our rainbow director of the weekend in St. Louis, for making that incredible speech. I know it was a little emotional one because
I'm getting goosebumps right now just rethinking about what she said on stage.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Dancers Against Cancer was started after the loss of a dancer and a car employee named Marissa. And actually over the weekend, it was her birthday and Ramona honored her during her speech. And I think that's really what made the audience realize, you know, DAC is doing things that are so important and really are helping these dancers' families. So it was so impactful. Thank you, Ramona. And thank you to all of those dancers, teachers, parents, everyone who donated at St. Louis this past weekend. You guys are making such a big impact. And I don't even think you realize how incredible it is that you guys are donating. So thank you so much. It's amazing to see the support from these pink buckets. And like I said, we weren't able to do it over these COVID style events. So being back to these live shows, it's really, really beneficial. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I have to give a big shout out to this amazing performance. For those of you who shop at our merchandise booth on the weekends, I'm sure that you have seen those really cute sparkle cords that you can put in either your sweatshirts or you can do them as shoelaces. And we actually had a studio, J Dance Co. They came up and for their group hip hop routine, they bought, I kid you not, 15 pairs of shoelaces for their group routine. It was called Hot Girl. Okay?
What?
And all of these little girls come out with their Nikes laced up with their rhinestone sparkle cords, and it was so cute. And I just think that it's such a way to elevate your costume.
1,000%.
If you don't have, you know, sparkly cords, obviously that doesn't really matter when it comes to your costume. But if you are a soloist or if you have a group routine and you're at a competition and you think that that might elevate your costume, go ahead and buy it. Interchange it with your hip hop shoes. Interchange it with your tap shoes. Even last season, we had all of our backstage coordinators having them on, just running around backstage. It just elevates the costume, and I think it's so cute. And so thank you so much to J Dance for, you know, purchasing all of those. But I think it was just the cutest thing. And it definitely made all the girls really excited knowing that they had this little extra piece of, you know, accessories on their costume. So thank you to J Dance Co. And I will just say that their energy was awesome throughout the entire weekend. And even on that Sunday, it was so nice to see all of their staff wearing those DAC jerseys. It was just such an amazing weekend in Car Stafford. And I will just say they had this one little dancer. I wish I knew her name. Killing it every single award ceremony. Oh, my gosh. We were all about the dance battles this weekend at Car Stafford. And I feel like every award ceremony, it just got more and more intense. And these dancers were going off. So amazing job to J Dance Co.
I love that. That sounds like a good weekend.
It was so fun. You can tell my voice is like shot because I was just having so much fun all weekend long, but it was definitely well worth it.
Totally.
I have a pick, and it was from Rainbow West Memphis. It was called Death of Mercy from Center Stage Dance Academy. I also posted this on our Rainbow Instagram, and one, it had that blue that we talked about. I saw that everywhere this weekend for costumes. And two, her flexibility and control just like slapped me across the face when I was watching it. I was like, oh my gosh, one, I will never be able to do this. And you see a lot of dancers that have great flexibility that can kick their leg. It will go to the other side. It will come back down. But to be able to have that control, and I wrote down when I was watching it, picture perfect. Do you remember in episode 1 when we talked about going through the pictures and seeing if you're finishing each move before you go to the next? Mm-hmm. If you go through her pictures from her solo, I mean, sometimes you see like 4 that you could really use that you could put on, you know, social media. Every single one was perfect. I couldn't pick between them. So I was like, we're posting the entire video because she's so good. But when I say she had every single element of her dance was picture perfect, her costume, technique, choreography, everything was amazing. I loved her. I was such a fan of her this weekend as well.
Cute. I love that.
Wow. Okay, talking about picture perfect.
Ooh.
First of all, the dance title reeled me in. And I was actually covering MC at this point, and thank goodness, because I was fired up. The dance was Act 242, The Best of Both Worlds, from Dazzler Dance Company. It was a whole like Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus collage, essentially.
My dream.
Yeah, honestly, like
Thank
the
goodness we
moment
went there together.
Yes. No, like all three of us would have been down at the table like, wow! But literally the moment I saw the title, I was like, Jocelyn's going to love this. Madison's going to love this. We have to talk about it. Because not only was the music choice impeccable, like throughout, they did like a combo of Hannah Montana, Miley, the new Miley, like the costumes were clean, the coloring was clean, the prop was clean. The entire performance was, it reminded me of your prediction for the season of the collegiate dancing because it was so clean and crisp, their formations to the choreography and all of that. I was fired up, not only because it was Miley Cyrus and I grew up on Hannah Montana, but everything about it was so clean and crisp that I was fired up. I actually played a Miley Cyrus old song after they were like unloading their prop off the stage just
Love
to like
it.
keep the mood elevated.
Keep the Miley mood.
I love that.
She made me watch it because obviously I was born to be Hannah Montana 2.0. And so the fact that she sent it to me, I was dying. I was like, I wish I could have seen this live. That would have made my entire weekend.
And the girls that they picked to be like the new Miley and the Hannah Montana were perfect for the role.
Amazing.
They really stood up to the challenge.
Amazing. Good job, ladies. I wish I could have seen you live. I'm sure you
Yeah.
were amazing. I have to give a big shout out to Captivating Dance by Nona. They actually are a new studio in Texas. So she originally was from Northern California. They just moved out to Texas, opened up another studio, and they had such a cute group routine. And it was so fitting that we were in Texas because it was that Kelly Clarkson song, A Whole Lot of Women. And so, in the beginning, it's like, Texas girls do it better.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Like I said, not singers. But it was
This
so
is a
cute.
dance podcast.
Yes.
But when I tell you, every single dancer in that routine was going 150% with their facials. Like, they did not disappoint. They were matching that energy of that routine. Everything was bigger and better, and it was so cute. And I just thought it was such a great job, well done. And I thought it was really cute that obviously Nona is newer to Texas, so the fact that it was kind of a Texas theme and they were in these cute little cowgirl looking outfits, it was just so cute. So job well done, girls, and shout out to Nona.
I
We
love that.
Nona.
Another video I want to play back is from Car San Gabriel, Elephants. It's from Inspired Dance Complex. And I feel like we always highlight a lot of either our group routines for the younger ones or our elite older dancers. This was a secondary dancer who, if you watch her video right now, you can see that she's already amazing, but she has the potential to be one of those standout performers when she is that older elite dancer that we talk about every single week or that our staff is excited to see at every single competition. I believe Summer choreographed this dance, and it's just, I think it's so age appropriate, especially with the secondary dances. That's lovely to see when it's age appropriate, but she's so passionate. You can just tell she loves dancing. So I cannot wait to see her when she's an elite dancer. And I know that we'll be talking about her again on this podcast for sure.
Great job to her. That actually reminds me of another performer that I saw. She was our Miss Teen. She's still younger, but she was our Miss Teen winner for title, and she won first overall. And this was Adelaide from Republic Edge, and her performance was Still Have Me, that Demi Lovato song, which
Yes.
is obviously just already a powerful song. But she was so beautiful. She has the technique to back it up, but the emotion that she put behind it, for being, a little bit younger, it was so well done, so mature. Her technique, everything was so clean, and it was just a beautiful performance. And it was everything that you would want to see in that lyrical contemporary style. She had the technique, she had the emotion, she had those still moments to really convey what the song was saying. So job well done to Adelaide, and she's actually one of our car proteges. So you can see her on the convention tour as well if you would like to train alongside her.
She's such a cutie.
So cute.
I see her being the next, or being one of the Katies and the Annies that we're talking about all the time, or that blow up on social media every single time they're at one of our competitions. I see her being that.
You know what, though? I wanted to talk about this, about people wonder why some people get posted a lot, right? And beside the fact that they're amazing dancers, like anybody, I'll put this on the screen right here. Look at how, if you noticed all the comments on Annie's reel, she responds to every single person, no matter what. And the person who used to do that before was Madeline Underwood.
Yes.
And if you get an opportunity to get posted and you respond to everybody sincerely, and you're genuinely happy that they took the time to watch your video and comment, and you actually show them genuine, like, you know, love and respect back, that's the best way to continue to get posted to Car or Rainbow or Ultra over and over and over, because you're essentially taking care of our community while building your own. So just a tip for you.
She actually did that. So we posted her and she did comment back with each one. And one of my favorite things is that you then had Annie and Katie and Mariah commenting and reposting hers as well. So not only are they interactive on their own posts, they're also supportive of the people in their dance community. And they're teaching the younger people, like our younger proteges, to also reply and really have that engagement and thank your community for watching. So I think that's so true what you said. They do great on social media. Their numbers are great, but they're also just so genuine and passionate and thankful for all the views.
They're humble and respectful. Core value.
Number 8.
I have another dancer that I'd like to talk about. It was Act 140, Glamorous Life. Her name's Paisley. The cleanliness, the costume, like, I think Leg Up Productions just crushed it with their costuming this season. And I'm excited because I'm actually going back to St. Louis next weekend too. So I'm hoping I get to see some of these routines again. Woohoo! But her solo really stood out to me because she is Glamorous Life for one. So we all know that song. It's a wonderful song to dance to. And she had the sass, she had the facials, but she also had the technique to go with it. And she's a little bit, she's a teen dancer. So it's awesome to be able to see them include their face. Because sometimes I feel like when we're going through that teen phase, we kind of lose our face.
Yeah, no, I think that all of us that, you know, started young, you're really used to making those cutesy faces.
Yes.
And then as you kind of transition around like that 12, 13 stage, you're like, okay, I need to get more mature facials, but still convey a very fun routine. So I think that's a kind of a difficult transition for a lot of dancers, because you want to make sure you're still having that really fun performance, but you want to make sure that it's not like cheesy and too young for you.
Yes, and I feel like she did a really good job of being mature, but also adding in those like kind of cute facials at the same time. Like, it was very mature of her, I feel like. And at such like a young teen age, I feel like that's so important to have. She had the whole package. It was wonderful.
You know who else I want to give a shout out to? Her name's Brianna from Mecca Dance Project. She did her solo to Chainsmoking, and the same way you're talking about with like having a playfulness on stage, this was a contemporary routine, which normally you wouldn't have a playfulness to it, but she was still getting like that very intense, you know, contemporary with all of that style. And she was doing all of those tricks, and she was killing it with her turns, and then she would stall, or she would do her turns and then she would do a trick. But then during, like, in the middle of those transitions, she had a playful face to her that you could tell she was still enjoying her routine. And even though it was a challenging routine, it was very obvious that it was a lot of effort being put into these tricks. She was still finding those moments, which I think a lot of dancers don't really tend to think about when it comes to a lyrical or a contemporary routine, because, you know, normally it's not necessarily a happy routine. But I think that finding those moments to convey that you're enjoying what you're doing is so important, especially for the judges to see. Because if you're just going out there and you don't look like you're enjoying your performance, it's going to affect how we take it in. So I think that, you know, Mecca, all of their performances, but especially Brianna, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but really stood out to me in that. And I just thought it was a job well done. So great job.
I have another shout out also from Leg Up from your show. This was our TikTok most viewed video of the week.
Yes.
And this was
I saw it last
our
night.
little minis. Yes, our little minis took home that 30K views after like one day. They were Barbie girl. They had their little boxes. They had their names at the bottom. Everybody was going nuts for the props, for the costumes. They were really talented too. It wasn't just a cute prop and a cute routine. They were very talented as well. So I thought The choreography was beautiful. The props were great. Costumes were perfect. So shout out to Leg Up for that Barbie girl performance and for hitting 30K so fast with your little minis. That was so cool to watch.
I saw it pop up on my feed last night when I was looking at TikToks, and it popped up and I was like, hey, I was there for that. They did so good.
I love that. I love when it pops up on other Dancers For You pages and they'll either say, I'm going to be at your competition next weekend, or, oh, I was in the audience. And then they'll comment back with other studios being like, our studio loved yours. And I just think it's another way to talk with your dance community and really feed off their energy. So I loved seeing that as well.
I have one more dancer that I would love to talk about. She was a little youngin', but stunning on stage. She kind of reminded me of Adelaide from Stafford, Texas. It was Act 155, Anything for You. Her name is Taylor Hine from Mattoon Academy. And oh my goodness, like for how young she was, the maturity that she showed on stage was so amazing to watch. And I actually took the time to listen to all three judges' critiques for her performance, because I just felt like she brought something different to the stage that morning that she performed, and it was just so wonderful to watch. Similar to Kenna Lyon from Sloan's Dance Studio, I feel like she's going to be one to watch, definitely, when she turns 18 years old, when she's getting into that elite division of competition. Like, those two dancers, they're both from different studios, Mattoon Academy and Sloan's, but I feel like they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, honestly, because the maturity behind their movement, and they're so young. What's in the water that they're drinking?
All right, so at the end of every single Playback episode, we talk to our judges, we get some tips from them, but this week we are starting what we're going to do every week, which is a judge's pick from the weekend, and they picked an elite large group, Paris from Stafford, Texas. I was not there, so Jocelyn, did you see that?
So good. Paris from Stacy's Dance Studio. It was fierce. The costumes, they were all in heels. Yes. So I feel like when a group routine comes out and they're all in like lace up boot heels, you already are excited. And their kind of star of the performance was this super just like, oh my gosh, I was obsessed with this kid. He was serving, and he was doing acro tricks in heels. I could never.
No.
I could never. And
I can't even jump in mine.
I know. And he was
I
killing
can't
it.
even wear them.
Honestly, the entire dance was so clean, so fun. Everyone was loving it. The entire audience was just enamored by this amazing performance. And I was so mad because I only got to see the second half of it. I was running around, and I knew that I wanted to see it in person because I saw them backstage. So I ran around, and I only got to see like the last half of it. But what I did see, Stacy's, you guys are killing it. It's so fun. I feel like across the board, Stacy's has such a variety of performances. They have those fun routines, and then they also have those beautiful contemporary routines. But their costumes were on point. Even a soloist that you posted on the Dance Cart Instagram, she was in like this really cool multicolored leotard, like long pants leotard, and she had all this cool like spirally multicolored stuff in her hair. You guys can go see it on the Instagram page because it was posted. But across the board, Stacy's was an amazing studio to have this weekend, and they came to compete. They won primary, secondary, and elite studio of excellence.
Wow.
So
okay, go off, Stacy's.
Good weekend for Stacy's. But yeah, Paris was hands down, I think, one of the most outstanding performances that we've seen.
Well, that's what the judges were talking about in our group this week. I also asked the judges for just one piece of advice that they wish they would have gotten when they were dancers on the competition stage, and we had a lot of replies. I'm going to talk about the one from Miss Marin. She started off by saying, confidence, confidence, confidence. Enjoy the amazing opportunity to be performing on stage and make the most out of every moment. She also said she would love to highlight the Paris routine as well. And she said that they had a great style, great choreography, and great performance. But she said the main thing she always preaches and wishes other dancers knew is that confidence is key. A lot of the other judges said that as well. They said, the most important thing is confidence in the story that you're telling. If you have all that, they're not just going to be critiquing technique. If you don't have that, they only have the technique to look at and critique. So really having that confidence in that story and fully letting yourself lean into it, even if you are a little shy or you are a little nervous, pretend you're Beyonce going on that stage. Pretend you're somebody else. Have an alter ego when you go on stage if you need to, just to show that confidence and to have that for the 3 minutes that you're on stage so they can also dive into the story that you're telling. So I think that's really important and a really important tip that they gave as well.
Great advice. I agree. I think that's super important.
Totally.
Technique can only take you so far. So having that confidence, having that stage presence is really what's going to make your judges and your audience remember your performance.
Also, when you're going in and wanting to dance professionally and you're backup dancing, you're not going to be doing a leg hold turn. You're not going to be doing the hardest turn section around the world. You're going to probably be doing 4 ponies into a little pump, and the technique doesn't really come to play in those auditions. It does, and it does help you, and training is important, but the confidence is the main thing that helps you stand out when you're wanting to dance professionally. So I think starting that young and starting to practice that on your competition stages will help you so much when you want to go start auditioning for professional jobs as well.
Love it. We got some amazing feedback from our judges. We saw some incredible talent on all of our stages this past weekend. I am heading to Nashville, Tennessee this weekend. I'm very excited. I've never been to Nashville. I've only gone to that Pigeon Forge area for finals. So I'm excited to see what talent we can see on the car stage this weekend. Where are you headed?
I'm actually leaving tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday, which is nuts. I leave at 6 a.m. to go to Omaha, Nebraska for a larger-than-life mini nationals rainbow event. And I am so excited because I actually get to be an extra hand this weekend. And I get to run around, maybe help with social media, get to meet all the dancers backstage, practice some little photo and video. I'm just really pumped to be in Omaha this weekend. The talent is so good there.
I always love Omaha. That's one of my favorite cities. And
Dippin' Dots?
Dippin' Dots. They always have Dippin' Dots at this venue.
A little stand, and it's so good.
It's literally what gets me through my day. And it's a funny thing that we always do is I'll always get Dippin' Dots after dinner. And then on the microphone, my tongue is like a little bit numb because it's cold. And so like every once in a while, my announcements will come out a little weird, like an Uncut Gems moment.
No.
Every once in a while.
It does happen.
It happens, but it's like no one really notices. And it's just like funny for the team to hear me on the microphone with my tongue numb every once in a while from the Dippin' Dots. But love Omaha.
Shout out to Omaha.
I will be at our Detroit Rainbow show this weekend, and I'll also be doing social media for the other shows. So really, please comment or even DM me. We have people DM us saying, hey, I'm coming to this competition. I'll be doing my solo on this day. Let us know because we love sharing your performances with you on social media. And we know it's a great way for your friends to be able to see what you're doing on the weekends as well. So please comment, whether it's on our TikTok, Instagram, podcast, comment below and let us know where you'll be this weekend and what solos you want to see on our social media.
Definitely. Well, I think that's a wrap for weekend 3, episode 3. Thank you all for all of your support. We are loving that you are enjoying this podcast. We are having so much fun with it. And I think it just makes us look forward to our weekends even more because we're already throughout the weekends writing notes of the performances that we want to talk about. So thank you all for listening. As always, make sure you're following all of the social media when it comes to CAR, Rainbow, DAC, Ultra, all of the things. We're going to be trying to do more live posting from the Playback Instagram as well. So throughout the weekends, we'll be doing, little posts here and there. So make sure you're following at Playback Podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on the road.